Hey guys, how are you? My name is Alyssa Shoemaker. Welcome to the Slay Squad team call. Tonight I'm talking to you guys all about marketing tips and trends in 2020 and things that I think are going to be a total game changer for your business. So a little bit about me. I have been in this business for 7 years now. I am a mom and a retired registered nurse. So when I started this business, my kids were in toddlers and diaper age, and now they are in middle school and late elementary school. So it's crazy how times and trends have changed. And I want to be totally honest and totally transparent with you guys that the reason why I really wanted to do this call is because I feel like reflection is so important. I always feel like we're always in control and there's always things that we can do to make things better. And one of the things that I really wanted to focus on this year was my marketing and my content. And so when diving into those things, I learned some tips and some trends that I'm really excited to share with you guys. So I have a little presentation for you. I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. So let's chat marketing in 2020. Number one, it is all about the customer experience. As you guys know, customers have so many choices and things available for them at their fingertips in 2020. We're seeing a massive shift in beliefs about what marketing actually is. It's no longer about us trying to convince somebody to buy or to work with us, right? Instead, the priorities have moved to providing a fantastic customer experience that keeps them coming back for more. When looking at customer service, there was a few things that were a common thread that people evaluate when determining if they're having a good customer experience. Those include efficiency, convenience, knowledge and friendly services, as well as easy payment options. So when I looked at this, I was like, oh man, I already had some holes in my system that needed to really improve my customer journey experience. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get knee deep in the DMs and I don't even get the information that they asked me for into the customer's hands. The other thing that I realized was the convenience really wasn't there. Unless I was online, unless I was working my business, there was no way for them to get information from me, which is horrible to think that the few hours that I'm online were the only way that they could get information. So these things really caused me to make some changes in the way that I do my business in 2020. Number one, I really started to use forms and documents for everything. Beyond just the initial connecting and bringing experience into my DMs, once we started to really get into the depth of, asking questions back and forth relating to coaching or related to boot camp, I started to institute forms and documents. I also started to use automation through Zapier as well as through MailChimp, so that when somebody asked me for the information, not only could I send them over a document to collect their information from them, but that the information they were requesting would be delivered right into their hands. The third thing that I looked at was knowledgeable and friendly experience. And if you know me, I'm really all about tweaking and seeing where I can control different things. I believe so much that yes, there's this beautiful algorithm that we can play into, but what can I do on my end to improve things? And learning more about the products that we had to offer was an area that I definitely could use some improvement. Not because I'm not a product of the product, not because I don't use the products, but because my knowledge base on the products that we do use was very limited from experience. One of the examples of that was the Fixate nutrition program that we use. I'm very familiar with the 21-day fix and the portion controlled system, but I really wasn't super knowledgeable when it came to carb cycling or it came to time nutrition. These were some things that I really had to dive back into in the beginning of 2020 and really educate myself on so that I could speak from experience and bring more authenticity and integrity into my audience. And the fourth thing that they ask about is easy payment options. And fortunately with Beachbody, they have all the payment options taken care of. So that really wasn't an area that I needed to improve upon. Okay, so how do we improve upon the customer experience? Personalization is going to be huge in 2020. We talked about earlier this year in some of the calls that we've done of the hey girls being gone, or you can't be copying and pasting messages to people, right? You really need to personalize and bring to them what they need for them. But in 2020, we're going to be stepping it up another level, and this is where video really comes in. 73% of people say that they won't buy somebody unless there is a personalized interest. So video is a really good way to do this, and super easy because we already have it all on our phones, that you can just respond via video in your DMs. Or there is some awesome software that's available, such as CoVideo, where you can respond back to emails via video as well to produce that personalized message response. The second thing is really getting into personalized marketing messages. And this is where going into your niche and really knowing who you want to serve is going to be super beneficial. So, oops, went too far. So this is where content is king, and you guys are going to hear content is king over and over and over again. Content is not going away anytime soon, and content is the fastest way to grow your business organically in 2020. So it's really something that we can't ignore. So how do we do that? How do we create content that sells? Well, you have to have a marketing plan and a marketing calendar. And I'm going to tell you guys, in my 7 years of coaching, this is the first year that I actually have a marketing plan, and I'm being very intentional with my weeks and with I post, because there is freedom that comes with having a plan. There is freedom that comes in knowing exactly what our audience needs. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that in these next few slides. So one of the things that I've been doing since January is really sitting down and creating a marketing calendar for myself based on what it is that I'm promoting over the next month. First of all, it's important that you allow yourself 10 to 14 days to be able to market. Obviously, not everybody's online all the time, number one. And number two, not everybody is going to always see the stuff that you're promoting. So make sure that you cluster your posts and cluster what it is that you're going to want to talk about, and allow yourself 10 to 14 days to promote for your boot camp or promote for your coaching. Ask yourself, what makes this particular product or this particular boot camp new, unique, or different? So last month with Bar, I wrote down what all made Bar different. This month with my self-love boot camp, I'm writing down what all makes this different. I'm also looking at who is this product or service for? Why should they buy from me versus somebody else? Why am I the best person for this? What unique angle can I spin? What kind of advice do people normally ask me about? And what questions can I anticipate about what they are offering? All of this information is going to help me create content that sells and serves. Now, when setting up your social media, I think I skipped one. Did it? No. Okay. Now, when setting up your social media, you got to have a goal in mind. So, what is the bottom line in your post, and what message are you trying to convey? Also, what services or products are you trying to sell for the week? You also want to think about your content ideas. What do you love to post about? What does your audience need to hear? What are some things that are on repeat because they're part of your brand? No, I'm a nurse, and nursing is a very big part of my brand. And so you will see me posting about nursing things, whether it's nursing memes or things related to people in healthcare, very often. They're a very big part of my repeat brand. The other part of my repeat brand is overcoming anorexia and bulimia. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about self-love. You're going to hear me talk a lot about empowerment. You're not going to see me talking a lot about dieting or slimming down or any of those things because they're really not part of my brand. The other thing I want to think about is any universal themes. So it is the month of February, a lot of self-love talk happening, a lot of Valentine's Day things happening. So those are some other things that I want to take into account, as well as any things that are trending. So as you guys know, we just had the Super Bowl last weekend. There's been a lot of talks about Beyonce and her looking amazing at 50, right? We also think about things that are trending as far as the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards that just happened, any kind of political things that you see trending, all things that you're going to want to pay attention to when it comes to your content and what you want to be marketing for the week. And then also value, right? So not only do we want to know what exactly we want to sell, but what kind of value can we offer them? I like to go by the jab, 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 right hook, that plan that was introduced to me first by Gary Vaynerchuk. But however you want to think about, you really want to be offering a ton of value to your customers before you ask for the decision. One top tip is that focus on one major theme for the week. So I see a lot of coaches that bounce back and forth between coaching and their boot camp and coaching and their boot camp, and there's really not a theme to their marketing focus. One thing that will really help offset you and really help your customers is by focusing on one theme of a week, to be sure that your message hits home, and to those that see your posts, see that content over and over and over again and allow it to really resonate. Now, when it comes to creating your content, I want you to get into creating more that we can consume. It is totally okay for you to unfollow other coaches that you might admire. It's okay to unfollow some of your friends in this business, because you need to be creating more content that you're consuming. And I've fallen into that trap many times into my life. And by doing that, it also makes me not original and allows me to not serve my people in the best of abilities. So if you're in that situation right now where you find that you're consuming more content than you're creating, make sure that you create anything before you can consume. A couple things to think about is speaking to your ideal audience. So I know that niching down is really scary. I know that it's hard to think about just serving one person, especially when we really want to serve the masses. But remember that when you try to connect with everybody, you really connect with nobody. So who is that ideal person that you are here to serve? Another part of that is really thinking about how do we consume the information and thinking about the different personality types that are present. They break down into the thinker and the persister and the harmonizer and imaginers and rebellers and promoters. And what that basically means to you guys is that we need to be speaking to the majority of the market, which is our harmonizers, who learn a lot through emotion, our thinkers, who learn through education, and our rebels, who learn through entertaining. If we can hit on education, entertainment, and emotion, we are going to be helping to serve, or we are going to be helping to communicate to 75% of the population. So this is where educating, entertaining, and providing emotion is so key in your content. The other thing about your content is to make sure that you have a very clear message. Do you know what the end goal is for that post? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to act, or do you want them to feel? Sometimes it's not always about eliciting actual action, but sometimes it's about getting them to really think about things a little bit more. The other thing about that is having a really good headline so that they will continue to read further, okay? So having that clear message. The third part is building that relationship and really connecting with our audience through our personalities. I know a lot of times we think about posting, and you got to think about, are you posting for yourself or are you posting for your audience? Is this a look at me type of post, or is this a post that says, yes, I can do that too? What could this be for me? Does it say, this is good for you, or maybe I can do this too? Building relationships and connecting with your audience through your personality is how they're going to really connect with you, how you're going to really get them to do business with you versus over somebody else. So I like to ask one of my best friends to take a look at some of my posts and some of my messaging to see, does it sound like me? Is my personality really shining through? Are the things that I stand for apparent on my page? And if they're not, then I really need to dig deeper in these areas, because this is where I'm going to really be connecting and encouraging and motivating my audience and getting them to choose me over and over and over again versus somebody else, because of that trust that's being built by using my personality. And the fourth thing that comes to your content is sharing, creating shareable content. And it necessarily has to be content that you create. It can be content that was shared by others that you know that your audience will be able to enjoy. But one of the fastest ways to really grow your audience and grow your authority is creating content that elicits a response of either creating them to share it or creating them to bookmark your stuff to come back to it. These heart matrices we have, these like matrices, are really nothing but more than vanity matrices. Vanity metrics. In 2020, you really want to be focusing on serving as well as creating things that share or creating a bookmark. Things that cause your consumer to take action. So how can you get your girls to create more action with your content in 2020? A couple of things that's really important on all of this is reflection and tracking. Now, are you using insights on Facebook and on IG to see what your followers want to see how you're serving them, and if it's actually leading to conversions? So I used to be somebody that just threw up posts. I didn't look at the feedback. I wasn't looking at if my posts were getting a good response. But you guys, there is so much truth that comes in monitoring the trends. And so if you're not already using Instagram and Facebook insights, I really encourage you to do that today. I want you to look at and reflect on your posts at least weekly to see, number one, what was your most engaging post for the week? What was the post about? What kind of emotion or feedback was received from that post? Also, was it an original post or was it a shared post? And realize that the more that you really start to track these trends and start to pay attention to what posts are performing better, the more that you're going to be able to create content that really serves our audience. So I know that I just shared with you guys a ton of different information about tips and trends with marketing and in your business in 2020. But I think the thing that I really want to drive home the most is that you have to be intentional. Long are the days that you can just fling content against the wall in hopes that it sticks. Long are the days that we can just blame the Instagram algorithm or Facebook changing their algorithm to why our content isn't performing. When you know your customer and you know your client and you know what their needs are and what evokes emotion, you're always going to be able to stay on top of the algorithm. So I hope that this information really, really helped you. I know that I shared a lot of different content here, so come back and watch this again. But it's really all about that customer journey and that customer experience and what they feel like immediately when they come to your page. So what kind of reflections can you make this week on your posts? Have you been using the insights on Facebook or on Instagram to help you come up with new content? Do you really know who it is that you're serving in 2020, who you stand for, and what kind of content your customers and clients are dying to hear or need to hear from you? I hope that this really helps you guys. And if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. But it's really all about you getting super personal and really connecting with your audience, and content is really key. All right, so I am going to open this now up for questions here. I'm going to log here off of this part and go into the meeting room and see what kind of questions you guys have. All right, bye.